Hey everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. Whew, coming off of a long weekend. I had to burn some vacation days or lose them. Well, poor me, right? So, what did I do? I spent 3 or 4 days this weekend up on the Firewood Hill. Didn't do as much filming, much video as I had hoped to do, or told myself that I would do. It's funny how you just get out there, you get going, and you think, oh, yeah, I should have set up the camera for that. So, got some decent footage. Not great, but decent footage. We accomplished a lot. I want to say 8-ish burn piles. You'll see some smoking in the background of some of the footage. Gone. That hillside is starting to look good again. We had a early March snowstorm move through, which is starting to become a theme around Oregon, or at least southern Oregon. And it was a heavy, wet snow, that late spring kind of snow that really probably shouldn't be snow. It obliterated stuff up there. I mean, there are uprooted Doug firs, uprooted madrones. I don't recall having ever seen a madrone uproot. I have now, so... yeah, that was the main goal, was get stuff burned. Had some good burn days, good ventilation, nice, not hot, but warm, good. The grass is green, the ground is still wet, so it's just ideal. The fuel has dried out, you know. If you've never done a slash burn pile, there's that magic point where the pile is dried out just enough that lighting it doesn't take a whole hell of a lot, but everything around it is still wet enough and green enough that you really don't have to worry about burning down the forest. In a month, if it's not fire season, but if we're circling around the end of May and we haven't had a significant amount of rain, I would not light a fire up there. Anyway, that was the main goal, cleaning stuff up. I mean, there was hangers. Some of the stuff that uprooted, you know, was stuck in other trees at angles like this, and just a mess. So, we were trying to tackle the worst areas, starting at the bottom, and then working up along that main road. There's a hell of a lot more to do, but there's some good stuff in there. There's some haywire. Well, okay. Buckin would call it haywire. A kid in school, I think, would call it sus. People my age would call it sketchy. My dad would have called it horseshit. There's some stuff that doesn't go as smoothly as it could. But no matter what you see on the camera, it's not as bad as it looks. I'll say that much. There is one point where one piece surprises me a little bit, because I didn't expect it to hold on way up there, but with where I was at, I had plenty of room to move and dodge and juke it if I needed to, and I'll just, enough's enough. You guys will see it. Another situation, just thought a madrone limb would break free. It didn't at the time I wanted it to do, so we went to plan B. It was good, all home light, of course. Duh. Not always, but we had the Super Easy with a 20-inch bar and a hand-filed square chisel chain, full comp, cutting very, very nice. Very nice. That saw is light enough that I'm using it more. I'm trying to like the Super Easies. Okay, I've not had the greatest experience with those saws. Lots of people love them. You know, I'm starting to come around. The more I use this saw, and it doesn't give me any crap while I'm using it, the happier I'm getting with it. So, broke out the XL-500 again, a 24-inch bar with a full chisel, a hand-filed, square ground chain. Not ground, hand-filed square. And it's not perfect. A Sylvie grinder would do better. They always do. But it's close enough. You guys will see, it's close enough. And then an XLBC-4. And for those of you that aren't aware of what that is, you will be, because that'll be the first footage. I needed to widen the road a little bit to avoid, as my buddy Mike colorfully refers to it as, Oregon pinstriping on the side of my truck. No Oregon pinstriping. It's bad. Especially when you're still paying on the truck. And finally, I didn't get any footage of what I was hoping would be more of a main event, and that's the old tractor. When my folks moved down here to Medford in 2020, it might have been late 2019 that I brought the old Farmall B. It's a 1947 Farmall B. Brought it down. There is some footage of it. It might have been spring of 20. I honestly can't remember now, but you look back in the video and there is, or the history, and there is a video of me unloading it up on the hill off that tilt deck trailer. And it was running good then. And this is going to devolve into stuff that you guys may want to skip through if you don't care about old farm tractors, but I love that thing. I grew up with it. Anyway, Pop gave it to me. You know, moving down here, he knew he wasn't going to need it. I had always hoped that he would get up to the Firewood Hill and see it doing some work up there, but of course he passed away in November of 2020, so that wasn't to be. And that was about the time that the thing quit running. And I've been so stinking busy. I am truly ashamed to say that it's sat there under a tarp since then. So I took the time to pull the mag because it didn't have spark. Now, for folks who aren't aware of this just by looking at it, this is an International Harvester H4 Magneto. This was used on a bazillion different pieces of equipment. You can actually change the gears under here for a reverse rotation or standard rotation engine. Just a really, you know, that's the impulse to loads up, and when it releases, boom, she fires. She has no spark. Okay, this is a remanufactured mag that I bought in 2019, I want to say, because we had to get the thing running. And I took it off up there, just trying to find out what was wrong. And when I got into the points, I saw melted material. What? That's not right. But I cleaned everything, got it back together, tried it again. Nothing. So I brought it home and did a deeper dive on it. Well, the coil is underneath this cap right here. Let me show you what that coil looked like. She's melted, folks. And at first, I was just thinking, oh, you must have overheated it. But I'm like, oh, come on. I watch the oil pressure on that thing religiously because it's line of sight from the driver's seat. It doesn't have a water temperature gauge. It doesn't have a water pump. That thing is old enough, it used the steam effect to circulate water through that radiator. And it's a new radiator. I just put that in when I got it down here. So, how would I overheat it? And then I remembered. I hadn't overheated it. I had been doing wiring. And I went out on the web and I was doing, you know, what causes a melted coil on an H4 Magneto. And what did I come up with? Oh, did you put battery voltage to that terminal? Because there's a, I'm going to probably explain this wrong, but there is a lead that's supposed to go from this condenser. Whoop, that's the condenser behind there. And your kill switch wire goes up to the switch, and there's one other lead that's supposed to act as a trigger for the voltage regulator on that 6-volt generator. It's not even an alternator, it's a generator. And it's supposed to act as a trigger on that. Again, I'm probably not explaining that right, but I remembered that Pop and I worked on the old mag. I had bought a new coil, And it didn't take any time at all for the thing to not have spark again, and that's why I bought this one. Well, I had found him a new generator, a rebuilt generator, and then, yeah, he said the voltage regulator had failed. And so he left a bunch of stuff disconnected. It basically wasn't charging. I started reconnecting stuff, and I forgot all about that. And I am almost certain, looking at that coil, that I accidentally put full, I'll be in a second, I put full battery voltage to that coil, and it sat there and cooked itself. So that's my stupid mistake. I actually think I'm going to find, I think I'm going to buy one of these 6-volt one-wire alternators that are now available that have a universal bracketing system, and just be done with it, because it'll be a lot stinking easier. I've got a new harness down there. I really don't want to risk another coil going bad. So anyway, I should have a coil points and condenser coming from Steiner Tractor Parts. I think they're in Michigan. I asked for next second day air shipping, which was a whopping $68 and some change, which makes me hurt a little bit, but I want to get that stuff here in time, that if I can make it up there over the weekend, reinstall it, and get that old beast running again. Because it's, yeah, I want it running. I got a lot of good memories with that thing. It's not worn out. It's not ready for the grave. It needs to be pulling wood to help me avoid Oregon pinstriping on my truck. So this turned into a much longer intro than I had anticipated, or which is normal. I get long-winded. You guys know that. But that's something that's coming. When I get that tractor running, I'm gonna, if I have to super glue the camera to my forehead, we're going to get some footage of some work up there doing that. So, again, coming up, we have some XLBC-4 work. I'm not going to tell you exactly what that is. You'll figure it out. We have some Super Easy dealing with some hang-ups and doing some falling, and an XL-500 doing some bucking. So, nothing extraordinarily exciting, nothing extraordinarily new, but not everybody has the gift that I have to be able to go up to the hill, and do that anytime I want. It really is a gift to have access to that. I feel very grateful for it. So I like to share the experience. We will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks, asshole.
drone is wrapped around it.
You kidding me?
Nope. I'll probably have to send it kind of across the road
That's okay.
in order to break it out of that. See what we can do.
Leon, you want me to go get a cable? And we'll pull that center section out.
We may have to. Let me hit it a couple more times.
It ought to come loose.
Well, alrighty then.
You're amazing, man. You're amazing.
Now it's time for a beer.
Let me pull this quad up.
Oh, that worked out. Okay.
There's another one here somewhere.
Huh.
Where did I see that?
Oh, come on, baby.